The textile industry used to be the major driver of the nation's economy, contributing more than 60% to the gross domestic product as a result of the activities generated by the growing of cotton. Available statistics shows that between 1980 and 1990, the economies of southern and northern parts of Nigeria, especially Kaduna and Kano, were driven by the agro-industrial subsectors with emphasis on cotton and textile production. These states had several mills. Kaduna, for instance, at a point had about 10 textile mills with direct employment of more than 10,000 workers and over 20,000 indirect employments from allied industries. During this period, the country was on the verge of becoming a major player and supplier of good quality wax-resistant textile known as Ankara. At a point, it was estimated that the textile industry was generating an average of $2 billion per year, with nothing less than 180 textile factories all over the country. However, the development had become part of history, as Nigeria presently is nowhere to be found in the world of textile business, with an argument that low-quality textile output of farmers contributed largely to the collapse of the industry. But our hope is not lost, as scientists have identified a new variety of cotton seeds with high-quality fiber, which is expected to contribute largely to the textile revival initiative of the federal government. What is this beet cotton? What are its characteristics that makes it different from other species? These and many more will be our focus as I host the National Coordinator, Open Forum on Agriculture, Biotech, Nigeria, Rose Kidado, on today's edition of Stepping Up. I am Kemi Fakeye. The program is Stepping Up.
Presenter Bismarck Rewani, alongside seasoned technocrats in the financial industry, discussed the importance of having a realistic budget, developing infrastructure, comprehensive fiscal planning, and attracting investors. The panel was chaired by His Excellency Badaru Abubakar, Governor of Jigawa State.
Well, when we did some analysis for what we call State Resilience to Shocks Index, there were 3 states that came out top. Number 1, Lagos State. Number 2, Kano State. And number 3, Enugu State. What did we use? We used the IGR to total revenue, which shows that you are less reliant on federal allocation. CapEx to budget, which means you are investing in infrastructure. And revenue adequacy to cover recurrent expenditure.
Every government in Nigeria, federal, state, local government, faces fairly significant fiscal constraints.
It's only proactive investor engagement that will bring investments. And investors don't listen to the things we say, they look at the things we do. They look at the way we treat other investors, and they get pointers from there.
VAT is based on disposable income, and if you do not consume, you do not pay VAT. And the VAT items that we have got as exempt are basic foods, medicine, educational materials, so it does not affect the needy. VAT basically is a tax that will help state governments and will help them provide for the needy.
The next panel session, chaired by His Excellency Godwin Obaseki of Edo State, on development financing, with the lead presenter, Dr. Joseph Nana, representing Godwin Emefiele, and other discussants focused on socio-economic factors such as poverty, unemployment, amongst others, that currently have an impact on growing the economy of states.
Agriculture will remain here with us. So we have these facilities in the central bank, which we will give to you if you request it. What do we want in return? The abilities of the governor to donate the land. We will partner with you, and there are also private sector partners who will leverage on the land and your leadership.
What we try to do under the State Export Fund is to partner with the state so that they can identify projects and also private sector, or we can bring investment in that space that they have identified so that we can partner in the context of providing financing support for them for export.
No nation can develop without social and human capital development. Hence, the need to equip the governors with knowledge on how to maximize the greatest resources, which is the people. In line with this purpose, the session on human capital development, chaired by His Excellency Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State, featured speakers who underscored the importance of improving Nigeria's human capital, especially in education, employment, and health.
This is where the impact of all of those other things that we are doing become evident in the lives of our people.
We have low primary attendance rates and low secondary school completion rates. Male, female, male 44, female 34 expectedly. And just like we had yesterday, it's time for us to actually see how we can help the female folk, because they're really important for us in our country, well, all over the world, not just here.
It is important for the states to take ownership. So even as we're creating a level playing field to ensure that our programs are insulated from politics, from culture, from religion, we must ensure that we get to the poorest people and the unemployed people, whether or not they know anybody in government.
The Federal Ministry of Health and NPHCDA espoused what it really means in practical terms to provide universal health coverage. The provision of basic health services to people and communities wherever they live, and in a way that covers the full spectrum of health services.
Also, the clear distinction of technology, media, and security as formidable tools of development in any nation cannot be overemphasized. Therefore, to increase gross domestic production, digital economy must be prioritized and must be utilized in intelligence gathering, policing, and fight against corruption. This was discussed during the panel session, Imperative for a Digital Nigeria, chaired by Jim Ovia, the chairman of Zenith Bank PLC.
Now the challenge for you, Your Excellencies, we want you in your own various states to be the Lee Kuan Yew of your state. Is it possible? Yes, it can be possible. It takes a human mind, a prepared mind. It takes innovation. It takes ideas for you to do that.
If we're in doubt about the capacity, the transformational capacity of broadband infrastructure in our lives, both socially and economically, then I would like to give a quick example. The 7 leading broadband markets in the world, 7, they also have the highest GDP per capita.
Still on communications, strategic communications and press public relations was next up for discussions, with the chairman of the session, His Excellency Segun Oshoba.
Your best antidote against bad press, against a very unfriendly press, is good governance. If you then deliver your best and you convince that you've done your best, the media, what the media can do to counter that is limited.
With the day fast spent, the most important topics of the day, managing security in states, an imperative of fighting corruption and terrorist financing in Nigeria took the center stage.
I will tell you that the security agencies were committed, were ready to stabilize the situation.
Most importantly, we have to put in place mechanisms of addressing security challenges in our absence.
The duty of maintaining security is not always on the security, on the conventional security. It is also on the leadership.
We are going to make use of community policing. Community policing, we need a collaborative efforts of you, excellencies. You have been trying your very best for us, but you need to do more.
Climate of insecurity which terrorism promote is a disincentive for both domestic and foreign investment. Terrorism has distorted national economic planning process with the review of priorities to accommodate their security challenges in view of the constitutional imperative which places premium on security of lives and property.
Today, our governors are politically exposed persons. It's not the making of anybody in Nigeria. Rather, it is as a result of a changing world. The world has changed. When the world were confronted, generally, we had to deal with issues to do with drugs and money of drugs, terrorism, despots, leaders who do what they like with their own people and their own country. The world came together through conventions, protocols, to insist that governments across the world must adopt one common way of addressing these problems. And that's how we ended up with, for example, what we call EFCC in Nigeria today.
The day came to an end with a vote of thanks by Governor-elect of Imo State, Right Honorable Emeka Ihedioha, who thanked the President, panelists, and the organizers of the event.
I'm a returning governor, so I think that this is good for us. It's good for the new governors, the governors-elect just coming in, because they have the opportunity to interact with a wide range of people, particularly the returning governors, former governors, and some other development partners that have been brought in to give talks to us.
It's been very interactive. It's been really eye-opening for me personally, get to know a whole lot of colleagues that I'll be working with, and sort of get a first-hand feel of what the job really entails, amongst your colleagues and your peers.
When we started this induction, having gone through all the programs, I saw it was a full package of what is going to happen in the government in the next 4 years that's been summarized in a very, very systematic and professional way to impact the knowledge on most especially the incoming governors.
We are trying to send across an important message to Nigerians through this important organ of government. And the message is that this country is gradually transforming into a digital country.
The lessons learned are on the issues of appointment, which is very critical for delivery. Many of the speakers have spoken well on the need to inculcate competence in the system.
The final day of the 4-day event was dedicated to the spouses of the new and returning governors. The summit was attended by Her Excellency, wife of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Aisha Buhari.
I am happy to be among my sisters, both the current and former First Ladies of our great nation, Nigeria. I feel highly delighted that we have all been working successfully for the betterment of the cause of women, children, young people, and the less privileged in Nigeria. I want to also commend the Nigerian Governors Forum for organizing this first summit for their spouses. It is important for us to understand the nature of the environment that public officials like us operate in. I am also happy with the issues chosen to discuss at this summit today. I do believe that we all need this update from time to time for us to have a smooth sail during our political sojourn. As you are aware, every wife of governor plays a complementary role to support the effort of the governor. especially on issues of women, youths, and children. It is up to state that as mothers of the state, you have the listening ears of women and children.
The opening ceremony included the wives of former presidents, Her Excellency Ture Yar'Adua and Professor Uche Azikiwe, and the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, Hajia Aisha Abubakar.
As a governor's wife, our role as mothers and leaders is to always stand behind our husbands, to support their mandate, and to promote what they intend to do for their people. It has greatly been argued that the office of the First Lady is not constitutionally recognized, but I think that is an understatement. Our focus and objectives are to build strategic alliances between the North, the South, and all over the country.
Permit me to appreciate the good work some of you have been doing towards improving the quality of lives of women, children, and other less privileged members of our society through your pet projects. Some of those projects share common goals and objectives with the ministry's mandate. I am therefore confident that we will have a good working relationship to minimize waste and duplication for high impact on the lives of our people.
I'm calling on all of us here to try and reactivate that unused leg, which is the woman, so that Nigeria will be moved forward. My PhD work was on women education and development in 1992. I conducted a study for over 3 years. How do we empower women? And I came up with one summary. You must make a woman a co-pilot. The society is like an airplane. And in every aircraft, you have the pilot and the co-pilot. Both of them work simultaneously for an easy and safe flight.
Tangible hope for a better future manifests in your wisdom and capacity to positively make impact on humanity, thereby becoming not only the moral boosters, but also dependable backups and unshakable pillars for supporting and strengthening the concrete vision of your executive husbands.
In the designs of your projects and programs, the core interests, needs, and concerns of women and children to please take a prominent place.
The panel sessions began with a lead address by the former First Lady of Virginia State, USA, on the role of a 21st century First Lady.
Best advice I got during my husband's campaign was to narrow my priorities and recognize you cannot achieve everything for everyone and all that you want, all the problems that are there you cannot solve, but focusing, setting goals is really going to help you achieve your ultimate success.
We have the deputies here, meaning like myself, the vice or the deputy governor's wives, if they are here. And if they are not here, I hope I will just put in a word or two. You are the 2IC in the States. You are deputizing. Your spouse is deputizing. I was once there. I will advise you to use wisdom, to be patient, and most importantly, be supportive to the First Lady. Do not try to outshine. Do not try to take up a project which could clash with our project if you already have one existing.
The next sessions was setting priorities and identifying pet projects and accountability and human development, focused on the need for the spouses of the governors to work with the vision of their husbands and pick projects that benefit the vulnerable in the society.
I want you to know that being a First Lady and having a pet project, it's not about how much money. It's not about having hundreds of millions. It's actually about having a direct line to your husband's people. It's about hearing really what they need, Sometimes it's about hearing what they feel that the solutions are going to be, because the true intelligence in every community to solve that community's challenge lies within that community.
Sessions on building strategic alliances, security matters, ethics and protocol, as well as media relations were also discussed by development partners.
Some of you probably have had the mindset of what project will come up with if your husband becomes the governor. But this project that is very, very important and critical to your heart may not be welcomed by your people. So you must carry your people along. Another important thing is that you must come up with projects that would attract funding and support from foreign donors and agencies. And that is where strategic alliances come in. To be able to get recognized or supported by international donors, your projects must be well accepted by your community. Your project must add value visibly to the lives of the people within your state.
This is something that your husband and yourself have been believing God for so many years. Now that it has happened, the first question is, what next? And the second question is, how do I want to be seen during these 4 or 8 years? And of course, the last question is, what do I want to be remembered for? And I must say that these questions actually helped me for the past 8 years to remain focused.
I just want to tell the incoming ones to take their time. Don't be pushed into doing something that you are not interested in, even though it's a worthy cause. There are so many causes. Find the one that you enjoy, that you are interested in. Even if people think there's no money there, as long as you set up your foundation and you are seen to be serious, funding will come in and you'll be able to impact positively on the lives of the less privileged.
Our youths and children are involved in all manner of social vices, which should give cause for concern. So you must therefore appreciate the nature of security challenges you will be confronted with in the discharge of your duties and reawaken your natural instincts for self-preservation to detect and avoid danger.
It's important for you to be accessible, and I think that's what we've been doing here, to have a human face in whatever you do. Be accessible, create access to the point of catching up with the most vulnerable and understand their problems. When you do that, media will sell you.
The Governor Spouses Summit came to a close with a vote of thanks by Mrs. Salamatu Al-Makura, wife of the Nasarawa State Governor.
It is a rare privilege and an honor to say thank you to the organizers of this event, that is the Governors Forum, for organizing such an important summit that has brought all of us together to learn more about the issues that affect the governors and their spouses.
You know, like I said earlier, a lot of the discussions were, really important for First Ladies to hear. So a lot, we're still processing quite a lot of all that information. It was very important to hear that, you have to support and, assist in a way and manner, that showcases, your husband's strength. You must be a co-pilot and assist. Those kind of words are resounding. All the topics covered, I think, were very important.
The successful completion of a dinner, 2 opening ceremonies, 19 panel sessions saw the Nigerian Governors Forum map out a guide for the new and returning governors to set the course for strategic leadership and governing for impact that will be beneficial to their states and Nigeria as a whole.